Hello out there in cryptocurrency land. How's everybody doing today? I hope you guys had a good night's rest last night. I know the market was tough over the holiday weekend. It seemed like maybe a bunch of Chinese forces actually took the US Labor Day holiday to sell into cryptocurrencies, and that they did very well. They sold off, as we know, just as Bitcoin was touching 5,000, and they sold it off into this trend line I drew on this chart here a couple of videos ago. And at this point, Bitcoin is currently bouncing off of this trend line, which is a good thing. Where it goes from here is still a little cloudy. There's no definitive sign one way or the other. I do like this sharp bottom, however. This is nice action. This is nice action so far. It could roll over. It could V up again, which would be bullish if it V'd up similar to this bottom action over here. At this point, though, that is yet to be seen. Hold tight. Yeah, just kind of watch what it does. You need to know if you're a long-term holder, if you are, this is a non-issue to you. If you're trading this, if you're active above this level and are sitting in losses, what should you do? That's a good question. It's hard to tell without knowing your exact situation, but the rule remains you need to take losses quickly if you're trading this. So if you're down, like, I don't even know if you can be down 10%. I think you can be down 5% in this particular moment in time. Let's draw that real quick, actually. So let's not guess. So if you bought at the top, you're down about 15%. Actually, that's nothing to write home about. That's yeah, that's 15% of your money. That's hard-earned money, basically gone. It will come back, though. It will come back. Whether we come back up and retest the 5,000 level and fail again is yet to be seen. But we don't have a lot of volume up here at 5,000. This doesn't look like a top to me, to be honest with you. So this consolidation is just that. I think it's a pullback. I think it's a consolidation. But hopefully we shoot back up. We'll have to wait and see. Ethereum, a little bit of a different story in Ethereum. Ethereum, we have a leg down in a base and a leg down and we're stuck in another base in Ethereum. This indicates we could possibly have another leg down. In my previous video, I mentioned measured moves. So there's a measured move. When we broke down from this area, we measured move down to here, and if we do it again, we could measure move down into this area of 232. How likely is that to occur? You know, it's hard to say, but there's not a lot bullish about this chart. We do have a very nice what could be a bottoming bar at the bottom of this pattern. So this could hold and reverse back up. That is a possibility. If it doesn't, however, you're looking at a possible risk down to the 230 area. So you just need to keep that in mind. If that does happen, let's take a look at this longer term if our chart looks like this. What does that do to this uptrend? Well, it still doesn't do anything to the uptrend. This is still intact. Actually, looking at this now, we technically could draw a trend line here. So what I'm going to do now is draw these trend lines to see kind of what the absolute momentum would let us get to. So what you do is you take a really far back low and you draw a trend line to the next low, and then you take that low where it diverges to the upside and you find the next low and you draw the next trend line. This is kind of, this is the Trading View platform. It's very similar to, they have a fan, a pitch fan here, very similar to this, a GAN fan, very similar to this. At the same time, it's based on the chart. It's not based on some algorithm that some guy wrote 400 years ago. Okay, so we have this, and I don't think that's pretty viable. That could be viable if you look from here to here to here. See, the spreads are a little more manageable, as well as this spread. So, you know, is it in the cards to get down to 230? It's a possibility. It's a possibility. This isn't looking super hot right here. Now that more time is unfolded and we can see what's happening, it doesn't look like bullish action. This doesn't necessarily look like bottoming. But I can't say it's not. Just time will tell, and we'll just have to do what the chart tells us to do. So one leg down consolidation, one leg down consolidation, another leg down. Markets like to move in threes. One move up here, one move up here, one move up here. So that's kind of thirds. We may get thirds action down here, which will still maintain this uptrend as intact overall. Ethereum has not broken this overall uptrend ever. So if this 230 level doesn't hold, then that's a little bit of change in behavior. We have 2 more support levels, but that's getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. Right now, we're still sitting with the uptrend intact. I'm going to breeze through a couple more coins here. Let's look at IOTA. IOTA, a coin that is a large market cap coin. It's ranked number 10 as of last night. I didn't check it this morning. IOTA, I actually bought a position up here in the 60 level, and then it retraced back down yesterday evening, kind of overnight, back down into the 50 level, which I was actually shocked that it did that. So it may be comfortable living below this channel that it was forming. It may be comfortable down here. Not a good thing, meaning this is going to take more time to consolidate. It's not going to be a V bottom, and we'll just kind of have to wait and see on this as well. Let's jump up to Bitcoin Cash. Kind of a similar situation. Lack of volume down here, indicating it already had a large run over here, and it's been consolidating that run with not a lot of moves to the upside, so there's not a lot of selling to occur. And so we're just sitting down here in a lower consolidation. You need to see a break from one side to the other to really know what it's going to do. And I think most of these coins are going to move similarly in time. We just need to give them time. So that was Ripple, not much there. Kind of the same with Litecoin, consolidating a large move that happened, but it did break down more because it just ran up to $98 and is consolidating down here. Looks like it could have another leg down. Only time will tell. You just need to kind of check out these levels if you're in Litecoin. See what they're going to do. This is a trend line that I drew here. This is a channel that Litecoin's been in for quite some time, and it broke it to the upside. We would like to see it stay out and on top of this channel. Doesn't look like it's occurring. It's kind of chopping around the channel breakout level. So there's a nice fight happening here. We'll just have to see which side prevails. So Dash, couple moves to the downside here. Looks like another one 4 hours, another one yesterday right here on decent volumes. That's nothing to laugh about. But we have, it did get back towards the upside. Volume was a little lackluster, but it is 3 consecutive green bars. We see 3 consecutive green bars here. This move could be getting exhausted as we reach towards the top of this sell-off consolidation. All of these seem to have some type of sell-off consolidation, except for Bitcoin. NAM hasn't really been doing much, so it's not doing much here. We looked at IOTA. Let's look at Monaco. Monaco spiked lower. I did mention in a video. Oh, hey, look at that. Look at that. I did mention in a video, I think I was talking also about a measured move from here to here, that we could break down from here to here, and it looks like we did that. We broke down, our measured move came to fruition, and now it looks like it's curling back to the upside. So this move coincided with this top for this base. This could be a little constructive in Monero, seeing as how it held a prior level. So this could, excuse me, this could be somewhat constructive on Monero. Actually, let's zoom out a little bit, give you a little more perspective. So we had this long trend line, this long trend line here that was broken to the upside with a lot of momentum. Look at the volume. Look at the rise. So this black line, this gray line, is the average volume for the previous 20 periods. So it is definitely increased in volume. There's increased interest in Monero since this large. Everyone forgot about it. You forgot about Monero here. Look how narrow the volume has been since August. That black line is pretty much almost touching the bottom here, and then we see some peaked interest, and it pops big. So Monero here, uptrend still intact, not looking too shabby actually. Neo, the crypto that was most affected by the Chinese news last night about ICOs, and probably due to some, probably was warranted reaction, namely because it's in China. It's the largest blockchain platform in China, and it's going to see definitely a slowdown on its network growth. So that's a negative for Neo. But Neo as a blockchain, as an institution, it didn't affect it that much. It is going to affect its side chains, so it won't be able to grow as fast as Ethereum would, which actually bodes well for Ethereum. So I think the sell-off is really not warranted, but they're using it to take profits, Bitcoin hit 5,000. Ethereum was sitting there kind of at a double top actually. Someone in the live stream yesterday mentioned a double top in Ethereum. I didn't think it was the case, but maybe I'm incorrect and it was a kind of a double top. So here we're also consolidating lower, indicating a possible move lower is in the cards. Ethereum Classic had a huge run up just before the sell-off and just gave all of it back. That was kind of expected if you ran up right before a move like that. I'm sorry, a sell-off like that. It's a little expected. Omisigo showing, in my opinion, quite a bit of strength. We did break out of this pattern, have a nice run up, went from basically $8 to $12. It's about a 50% move. We retraced all of that move, but we have a good amount of volume down here, and we're curling to the upside. It is still consolidating, however, so is it due another leg down? It's hard to say. But it looks like a lot of these are pulling some type of a measured move scenario. Yeah, so see there? So there's a breakout. We didn't quite get to the measured move, but you knew it was headed lower. So this is quite a bit of coins following a measured move philosophy. If this does take another leg lower, I'm placing these not where the wicks end, but where the bodies of the candles end, if you notice. So here I'm placing it at the bottom of that candle ends. If you want to get a little more specific, where this candle starts would maybe be a little more appropriate and make this a little closer. But these are just guidelines, guys. These aren't lane lines. You don't have to stay within these lines, but they just give you a little bit of a guide. So to the downside here, there's a possibility we get down towards $5 if this takes another leg down. If we take it up to this level, we're looking at 530. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. I'm just going to leave that right there. Just keep that in mind if you subscribe to my channel. So you see me draw these measured move lines, and these things come to fruition. I can't say I like that they do, but it's what the charts are telling me, and I'm listening to them. So what else has popped here recently? Looks like Waves had some support, a 4% pop today. Waves really has been much ado about nothing going back quite some time, and the sell-off was also a non-event. So it's not surprising we don't see much to the downside, but we do see some upside action. It's hard to get beat down, when you're at rock bottom, it's hard to go much lower. So looks like Waves has hit rock bottom. Past that, there's not a lot to do down here in the charts. A smaller coin Verge has had a nice move here, sitting higher actually, higher than 831. So this was actually before the sell-off, so it's sitting here right at a high prior to the sell-off. This is showing a lot of strength in Verge. Komodo still not quite to pre-sell highs. Actually, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, we're sitting here at about pre-sell highs. This is 9.2. So this is about pre-sell, the pre-sell-off. When I say pre-sell, that's what I'm referring to. And we're kind of shooting higher here. Volume action. Let's look at this volume. Not a lot of selling. Do you see big spikes? I don't. I don't see big spikes. This could be a good coin going forward. And I did a video of what to do during a sell-off, and you look for things like this. You look for coins that aren't selling off. All of the big caps sold hard. This is a smaller cap that is doing well, at least technically. And I don't have much further down here, so that's the video, guys. I'm at 13, almost 14 minutes. I'll let you go. Subscribe if you like the video. Leave comments, questions in the comments. I will answer them. Hope you guys have a good short week here in the United States. Have a good one.